Let's go.
Welcome to the Ride Home Review,
where we talk about the movie we just watched on our ride home.
Then we do our best to improve the movie by rewriting the story on the fly.
The hosts of the Ride Home Review are sci-fi fantasy author T.K. Thompson
and film pundit Dustin Thompson.
Hey everybody! So this is our first episode of the Ride Home Review, and where this comes from is Tamra is a science fiction fantasy author, and I, a huge film buff fan. I watch everything. So naturally, Tamra and I go to a lot of movies. And on our way home from the movies, we would always have these really cool talks. And because we love telling stories, we would end up rewriting every single movie that we go see. And it was a really interesting conversation. So we thought, why not record it and invite our friends and anyone else out there who wants to become our friends and listen to what we think about the movies. So here's our first episode of the Ride Home Review. Enjoy. Spoiler alert! All right, everybody, this is your official warning. All of our reviews will be filled with spoilers of the movie. So if you have not seen this movie yet, please listen at your own risk. All right, so Tamara, we just watched Jason Bourne.
Right.
This is the fourth Bourne movie, coming right off of the last Bourne movie where they tried to replace Matt Damon with that other guy. His name's eluding me at the point.
I totally can't remember if, was he actually supposed to be the Jason Bourne?
No.
Or was he just another agent?
He was just another
agent.
agent.
Okay, I remember that, but I was like, when you said it like that, I was like, wait a minute, that's not how I remember it.
No, I just meant, I think he was going to be the guy to, take over the series for Matt Damon. But luckily, hand-overing the torch. But luckily, Matt Damon and Paul Greengrass, the famous director duo for the Jason Bourne series, came back, and we have Jason Bourne. So what are let's start with your overall feelings, and then we'll do our positives and then our negatives.
Right.
All right, Tamara, you're up.
Well, like you were saying before, it just felt like the movie never stopped. It never paused. It never breathed. Took a breath. It was just like bam, 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 bam. And
yeah, it was really jarring, how fast-paced it was. I almost felt exhausted by the time the movie was done.
It left little time for there to be any building up of anything, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was just instant,
pure action, 100%.
Suspense the entire time.
On full
action,
tilt. Yeah, I completely agree. Even though the action was incredible.
Yeah, there had good action in there, yeah.
But it wasn't overall a good movie for a film because it didn't even tell a new story.
Yeah,
that was a negative that we had.
It was a Jason Bourne movie, like all the other Jason Bourne movies, with the same plot and the same struggle and the same.
Right.
Oh wait, we're not on the negatives yet.
We're not on the negatives yet, but this is our overall feelings, right? That's okay. Our overall feelings that we saw nothing new.
Yeah,
tonight.
We saw nothing new.
Yeah, because as you said, same plot of the other films. Jason Bourne figures out a little bit of information about his past, therefore he's got to go on a search and a journey to bring to justice someone who has wronged him in a certain way. But in the end, it's still the same things that happen, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No new plot.
They didn't give him any new depth of a character.
No.
Yeah. So I think that's our overall feelings. But let's talk about some positives. What were some positives? Matt Damon was back.
Yeah,
that was a positive.
Matt Damon.
He was good. He still did really great acting.
Yeah, he did do good acting. People died. The action was actually really cool. The hand-to-hand combat was, what we expect from a Jason Bourne movie. The car chase scenes are also a staple of a Jason Bourne movie, and this one was really cool in Vegas. But we're going to talk about our negative about the airbag, right? But anyway, so I think there are very few positives, and actually
I was really hoping to really like this movie, but I think I have more negatives about the movie than positives.
They have the same, like, cliche scenes, like, that every Bourne movie has. Yeah. Oh, we're at the airport going through security. Oh, I'm in my lonely room with no personal effects in it. You know what I mean? Like, it was the same...
It's like literally you could have like edited shots from all the other Bourne movies and it was this Bourne movie.
And stuck them in.
Right.
Yeah.
And you would have not even known the wiser that it was this.
All they had to do was change the names on the screen of where they were going to.
No, I mean, let's think about it. Every Bourne movie, you have frantic walking. Everyone's walking very frantically and nervous.
Looking behind your shoulder.
Looking behind your shoulder. We had lots of that. We had lots of shaky cam, which I can't... I hate that. It gives me a headache, but we still had the shaky camera type of shots. They still went to a train or bus station, you know, and... Every time, right? And still, even though we're in 2016, Jason Bourne still using a cell phone with a corded earpiece. In every single movie, he's got a cell phone with a corded earpiece. It's like his thing. So, again, nothing new. But one of our biggest complaints was the airbag never went off.
The airbag.
Right.
It wasn't your car. The airbag was on.
Right. So he crashed this car. How many times?
It doesn't matter. He hit so many things and goes over so many bumps that would just set off an airbag.
And the airbag never goes off in his car.
And then I'm like half here thinking, okay, can a SWAT car really go that far and run through that many cars?
Right.
And buildings. I mean, you know what I mean? I can understand it hitting some cars, but I mean, it plowed through like 2 lanes with cars on both sides and just parted them like Moses.
Yeah. It was almost like it had a scoop on the front of the car, and it was just like
in Mad Max, you know what I mean? Right. It had a train front.
Right, the train front. Yeah, I think it was called like the cow plower or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
But the truck wasn't like that. No. But cars were flipping over itself like it had one of those.
Even just through the sounds, it felt like it was a diesel. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, does it really have that much power?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think it does either.
I don't think so. So. It was a little unbelievable. Even though it was cool if we would suspend belief for a while.
Right.
It was a cool scene, but Jason Bourne, we want it to be believable. Right. That's why we like the other Bourne movies. Yeah. Like Bourne Identity is incredible because it's so realistic.
And the other thing is I just feel like no matter what town or city that they go into, I feel like they have unlimited knowledge of the map out of it and the streets.
Right.
And I mean, I understand that they're like working on adrenaline and reaction, which is, you know, built into them, but still,
like I'm sure he's trained.
You gotta hit a dead end where you can't go somewhere at some time and have to like look at the street map or something. You can't know everything about every city and international place you go to.
That's true. No, that's true. I mean, I guess what happens off camera, you can make assumptions like, well, maybe on his way there, he studied the maps of the city or something on his flight to the city, but it doesn't ever show us that, and so in reality it just makes it look unbelievable. Like you said, it's not believable. So so they did introduce one aspect of this movie where I thought they were going to take it to a whole new place, and they didn't, which was, hey, when Jason Bourne released all those records in his last movie for the Blackbriar Project, right? We found out that one of the agents in the field got captured and tortured because of Jason Bourne by uncovering that CIA program, right?
Right.
So I'm sitting here thinking, oh, great. Maybe we're going to have like this in-depth character building moment for Jason Bourne, actually wondering if what he's doing is hurting other people that were just like him, right? Because his whole thing is, you did me wrong and I'm gonna bring you down, right? Well, can't he actually like relate to these other agents that are just like him? And when when they said that one of the other agents like him was captured and tortured because of something Jason Bourne did, I was almost hoping Jason Bourne would start to question, like, whether everything he's doing is actually doing more harm than good. And then they brought in the whole, like, he can't live his life and he wants to come back to the agency because he's actually really a patriot. So I was really hoping they were going to go down that road, and they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, but then it just makes you wonder, what can they actually keep on going and doing
Right.
with this story? They have to veer somewhere. You know what I mean? Unless he's just going to be this lone wolf always dodging the government, and we're going to keep having the same movie over and over and over and over
Right.
again.
So do you think at one point or another, it would be good to see Jason Bourne go back to the CIA under new leadership or anything like that? What do you think?
What other options do they have?
Right.
Besides making him
how many
have his own rogue team like Mission
Right.
Impossible.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean? Come on, let's start naming off what he can do, people. I mean,
Right.
seriously.
Right. Because in this movie, they really tried to nail down that Jason Bourne's a patriot.
Yeah.
Still. Through and through, he's a patriot and he cares about our country, right? But how many dirty CIA people are there?
Right.
Or is it the CIA in general?
Yeah.
Just the whole idea of the CIA is wrong, right?
Right.
I feel like every movie, Jason Bourne tracks down what he thinks is the head of the program, cuts the head off the head of the snake.
Like they say.
Like that, yeah. But then it ends up that person was just a pawn, for someone else who was really pulling the strings,
The
So
tadpole in the pond.
right. So I don't know. It was just super cliched to have again another head of the CIA department
Well, and
be evil.
like you were saying how you thought that they were going to kind of like build his character, he hardly had any lines
No, yeah.
in this. Like the first time
His
I really
dialogue,
felt
yeah.
like we heard him talk when he's like choking out, the guy.
Oh,
and
he was
almost throwing him
interrogating
when
the
he was
guy, right.
interrogating the guy, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it was hard to feel his motivation because he hadn't said anything like up till that point
Right.
in the movie, and that's like
Actually, now that you're saying it, like, I would say 90% of his dialogue is all tactical dialogue. Like, pick up the phone, do this, or, you know what I mean? Like,
let me hear.
right. Or a text message.
Right.
Heck, he probably communicates more via text message in this movie than he does verbally.
Right.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that brings back to the pacing thing, like you were saying, is that there's never a moment where this movie stops for two people to be in a room and have a conversation that means something and builds character. And not just build character, but builds character motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is Jason Bourne doing what he's doing? They try to make it happen really quick with what's-her-face at the beginning. I think her name was... I forget her name. Gail. No, not Gail.
Secret agent.
Right, blonde
girl.
secret agent girl, right? That we've had
Julia Stiles.
Julia Stiles, which she's been in all the other Bourne movies, is
Right.
kind of like his handler who kind of started working for Bourne and being on his side.
Right.
But they kill her off pretty quickly,
Yeah, they do.
and there's no actual big emotional fallout from Jason Bourne, which I was hoping there would be. Like the one person on this planet who is still kind of like important to Jason Bourne. No, nothing.
Well,
I didn't even feel anything.
You can't fall down when you're in the bottom of the pit.
Yeah, I guess.
You can only climb out.
Right. So overall, this movie was super depressing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, yeah, it was. But then there's the new girl character. You said she was in the other ones, but I don't remember her being in the other ones.
Are you saying the new techie
Yeah.
CIA? No, she's never been in
Oh,
the
I
ones.
thought you were saying she had.
Oh, in the middle of the movie, I thought you were talking about Julia Stiles.
No.
Oh, yeah, no.
See, they bring her in, and she has some underlying, reasoning to what she's doing, but they don't even touch on her at all. And
Oh, yeah.
she's, the major focus
Right.
of the movie.
Yeah, I did not buy her turning to start helping Bourne in the movie at all. I'm like, why? I don't understand this. You didn't give me any reasons why this character is doing what they're doing. And in the end, we kind of get the idea that, she was doing it to then become the head of the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
But that was stupid. You know what I mean?
They made it out like that she had a vendetta against, like, the director or...
Dewey or whatever his name was.
But it was, like, absolutely nothing on her.
But no reason why. Like,
And
why
no
does she have a
reasoning.
vendetta against... and it was by... I almost said Samuel Jackson. Well, no, what's his name?
Because he's in everything.
Tommy Lee Jones,
Yeah,
right?
Tommy Lee Jones.
By the way, he's looking old in this
Oh,
movie.
you're so mean.
I feel so bad. Like
He's
I was like,
supposed to be old.
I was like, HD is not doing well for Tommy Lee Jones. You saw all the big
That
bags.
made his character
eyes.
much more believable.
It's true, actually. No, that's true. But like I said, all these new characters they brought in, like Tommy Lee Jones and this new girl, they didn't build their characters at all.
Yeah.
And I felt like we didn't know why they were doing what they were doing.
I liked the double cross between Dewey and
The other CIA
the tech girl.
Yeah.
I did, because it was like,
We're gonna call her the cyber like
Superstar.
specialist or something like that.
Yeah.
Cyber security specialist or whatever she is. Yeah. No, I thought it was important that he would be like, oh yeah, we'll kill her if she's in the way too. What did you think about this whole, what was it called? Dream Corporation, social media guy, giant, that they're trying to get all the information from? I think they were trying to be relevant, like Facebook and Facebook giving personal information to the FBI or something like that.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know. I don't really understand, like, why they went, why they even had that in there. I mean...
Yeah, I think generally we just need a whole new plot.
Yeah.
We need, like, we know how cool Jason Bourne can be.
Right.
We just need to throw him into a whole new situation. A whole new scenario. Maybe, hey, Jason Bourne, there's a new foreign big bad problem we're having and we could really use your help. So for the meantime, we need to join forces to take down something that will destroy America or something. I mean, come on, give him something. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. You can't dry up the pond.
Yeah.
That's still the same plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at least, like, he would be fighting an actual villain instead of, like, CIA directors who actually truly believe that their CIA programs are good for the country. That's
why I thought it was kind of a good idea to make him go back to the CIA program, to run it and to be like, maybe clean it up, or...
That would be interesting.
I don't know.
Maybe, like, the president has a covert operations group and they recruit Jason Bourne to run it and keep in check other agencies.
But then we're saying that the government would just forgive him for everything that he's done.
Which they would
All
do.
of a sudden he's put up in the
Right.
on the pedestal without
Right.
any consequences. You know what I mean?
Which would never happen.
Which would never happen.
Right.
So each avenue you look at, it's like, oh, man.
So usually during the Ride Home review, we rewrite the story. We rewrite the script. And usually we do a very good job about this. But I think this is one of the first movies where I'm not quite sure where you take Jason Bourne.
I agree.
But I am definitely sick of seeing the exact same story and plot in every movie.
Unless you're just going for the mindless action.
Yeah, and folks, if you just want to go in and eat a ton of popcorn and get that butter in your system and enjoy the action, then this is the movie for you.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Totally.
But you know what? I actually thought the three Jason Bourne movies were pretty good movies, even though even they repeated the same plot. But because Jason Bourne was still gaining back his memory, I didn't mind it. But now that he has all of his memory back...
No, he doesn't have all of his memories back. They just showed brief glimpses of his past.
In the very beginning of the show, he says, I remember everything. So
well,
now
if he remembered everything, then we wouldn't have figured out some of the stuff through the movie.
Well, he figured out stuff in the files about his dad, but that doesn't mean he didn't have memories about his dad. He just didn't know how his dad was involved. So, I don't know. I think Jason Bourne's a really cool character, and I think they could do something with him. they need to just put that character in more like a Mission Impossible type scenarios and situations, but not so Mission Impossible. And here's Tamara, she's shaking her head. No, don't do that. So, well, what do you think they should do?
Seriously, I have no clue. No clue. Unless somehow they try to redeem him.
Yeah.
You know? Because he can't go, like I said, you can't fall when you're at the bottom of a hole. So somehow he either has to be redeemed to be able to move on with his life, or...
Yeah, because I think the biggest problem I had with this movie was Jason Bourne's miserable as a person. And there's no hope for him. He hates his life. And at the end of this movie, it's still the same.
Right.
So, like, I feel like this character I love and care about doesn't have any type of happy end. I'm not saying he needs a total happy ending, but he has no
inner peace
whatsoever. So he's a tormented character.
I love tormented characters.
Well, that's probably long enough for our first episode. Let's see. Oh yeah, 20 minutes. See, I told you.
See,
20
I told
minutes.
you to be quiet. You're talking too much.
Well, thank you for anyone who wanted to hear our reviews. We do this after every single movie we see, and Tamara and I were like, we should just record one of these conversations we have, and maybe it would be interested for those people who kind of want to hear our thoughts and opinions, because sometimes we can't just have a big group of people with us to talk about a movie afterwards. So that's our review on the ride home for Jason Bourne. And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.